Hello, welcome back to another video. And you're just sort of thinking that life's boring and you just want something interesting to happen. And it kind of happened tonight. But anyway, I'll try and explain. Now, the pictures you'll see are not the most clearest. So I basically got today, as I'm recording this, is Sunday, December the 11th, 2022. And this first bit of footage I'll show you is from when I was at Morrisons, because it's something that happened tonight at Morrisons Petrol Station, the Cheadle Heath branch in Stockport. And this is just a bit of footage from October when I had a problem when I turned up and the whole place was completely closed. I've got a video about that, part of which I'm showing you now, but I'll mute it because I don't want to hear myself talking over myself. The problem with this is that they were closed because something went wrong and the pumps weren't working, but it just looked like, because the place, I mean, it says, January 2014. This is because it's with a crappy dash cam that keeps losing its time. But the problem this time was that, they'd all just broken down, but it did look like that because it was Sunday at the time, that they just decided to close early, same as when the shop closes at 4 o'clock after just being open for 6 hours, because Sunday trading affects the usual shops, but not petrol stations and the like. So what happened tonight was, because any footage I've got of tonight is just crazy dark and you can barely see anything. This is like the entrance to the petrol station. You've got different lanes. You've got 1, 2, 3. I think. Is it 3 or is it? I think I remember this. Try to remember now whether it's. I think it might just be 8. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think it's just 8 petrol pumps they've got in total. So you just go through what sits there. I thought they had more than that. And then you just find your lane, depending on which side of your car is where you put the petrol in. Now, what's not really clear on here, what's even less clear on the video that happened today, is that you sort of drive in there. Now here, so you can see driving there, and here is where the driving out part, exit, that's the word. That's the exit. That sort of monstrosity is the air pump thing. So you can pump up your tyres, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance. Now there, what's not clear at all, and say will be even less clear in a moment, is it's like a sort of raised bit of, not pavement, but just raised bit of stone. The idea being that if you sort of hit it or backed into it or something, you can't go over it. You basically can't, maybe to stop people, I don't know, bilking as they call it, getting free petrol and then just running off, but you'd have to drive around that anyway to get out. But basically you can't get over that because it's sort of too high to do so. Also, you think, so just tonight I've been to Cineworld in Didsbury to watch The Silent Twins, which is not a bad film, not brilliant, but it's worth a watch. And then I came back and got some petrol because I just needed it. I don't do an awful lot of driving these days. This is my current mouse. That's the mouse that was on the video at the time. So I just get 20 quid now again. And then as I got starting to come round, you'll see, you'll hear it first of all. Not sure whether you'll see it or not. And the trouble is, because my car is so old, and I really want to get it changed, and I want to get, I've got a Fiat Punto at the moment. I want to get a Toyota Yaris, but trying to get one for a decent price seems to be nigh impossible because the garages are just rip-off mothers. You'll hear the problem before you see it. So let's just go to that. And here I am about to set off from a petrol purchase. It's just gone 4:30 at this particular time on the 11th of December. Let's just put that extra loud. It won't be particularly loud because it doesn't have the best quality audio at the best of times. Now it hasn't been raining. It's just that my car, I mean, it's old. It needs getting rid of. I've got horrible condensation in the windows. I should really do something about that. But I can see what I'm doing, but just with the dash cam up against the window, it just looks bloody horrible. God, I'd be glad when spring comes around. Anyway, let's go. You also hear me sort of talk, but I'm just sort of muttering, but you'll hear the problem anyway, so let's go. Let's just do that again. Hang on. Wait for it, wait for it. Oh! Just one's oh shit. That's lazy. Someone just reversed. Anyway, so I'll pause it there because you can't really see much else because it's just bloody pitch black and it's just awful. I'll try and indicate. I thought I'd try and reverse just to get a better view with the camera actually, and then I realised it wasn't really going to get very much because it's just, I don't know, it's just a shitty 720p definition camera. You can turn it to a 1080p, but it just uses up space more quickly, and rarely do you get gems like this happening anyway. Kind of a shame this didn't happen during the day. What it is, this woman has, that's the bit I showed before, the sort of raised platform that comes around, if you can see that with my, as I move the mouse there. That's obviously the front of her car, and that's the back wheel of her car, the back right wheel. She has basically reversed so far that she's gone over it, and I couldn't have got past anyway. I could probably have got past, but I would be a bit rude to just ignore the situation, not really sure what we could do initially. But before I get to what we did do, this sort of inadvertently reminded me of a time when I had help out of the blue from someone in a very strange situation. This is Woodmore Lane in Stockport, and this is sort of driving down from the main road there, the A6, that's Stockport Grammar there, a school I used to go to about 300 years ago. And I did try to, I started recording this with a bit of commentary, and then I thought it's probably easier if I just bring up the map and show you rather than try and describe the streets. So basically, it was a very, very icy day. I'd been driving all the way home from work in Manchester, driving up the A6, pretty much nose to tail because it just took forever to get home. And I just thought, oh, I'm really looking forward to just getting in because it's just bloody freezing. Turned off the A6 and onto this road, and then in front of me there was a guy. We're all going very, very slowly because it was just pretty icy cold. And you just go along here, and like this. And this was like about 25, 27 years ago, and the roads haven't changed at all really. But you got this sort of stupid. Sort of how do you call it? It's like a raised section of road. I think they do this to stop people just driving at speed all the way through. Because otherwise, if you just took that at speed, you'd fly off it. But anyway, I think whatever happened was he was in front of me, and I think before there must have been another. Maybe there's another one there because there's a bit of a road that's been sort of part of the road that's been taken out of there. But I think there were humps in there were extra. Excuse me. I think there were sort of extra humps in the road where I sort of went over it, and then because you do get roads like this where you get lots of road humps, and then as you go over it, you have to sort of speed up to go over it, and then slow down a bit on the other side. Otherwise, you're just not going to clear the hump itself. But then when it's icy, you got to take real huge amount of care, because otherwise otherwise you're going to go careering into somebody else if you're all snaking along this road if there's like a traffic jam. Anyway, long story short, I crashed into the back of him because it was icy, and he stopped, and it would have been technically my fault because I went into him from behind. And so anyway, we got out and had a look at the damage, and I told him where I lived, and so he went ahead to my house to wait for me. Well, really, I should have just been following right behind him. But because of how icy it was, I've got a choice here. Do I go down that sort of path ahead? And as you can see, it's a no-through road because there's a railway junction there, and it's a one-way street basically. It's one way from the other side to come down here. So I thought, do I just try and contravene that anyway? Because I could go all the way down there, and you can't, technically you have to go round there, and then all the way round there, round the back there, and then you come to this bit here, And I could have just thought, stuff this, come all the way around here. I could have just thought, stuff this, and try and cross there, and it probably would have been. Now I realise it would have been much better for me to do so. But I decided to go the normal way. More fool me. And let's get back on the right path. And so we go up this road. This is the Moorland Road. That used to be a row of shops there. Used to be that. I think was it. Yeah, that used to be a house. That house there used to be a sweet shop. I used to buy loads of sweets when I was at school there. All this was a row of shops. Now it's just a row of houses. For shame. Anyway, so this is a bridge. Now it doesn't look too steep. So we just go up here. This is there by Woodsmoor train station. And this is a point on the bridge where I just basically got stuck. Because I got to the top of the bridge, and because it was so icy, I couldn't move, because otherwise I was going to whee all the way down to the bottom. And I turned my front wheel into the pavement there to stop myself, careering all the way down. Because if you went all the way down, as you'll see, before they put these planters there, you used to be able to just. I remember when I was a kid, and I had a bike, and I just went whee. And before they did all this raised platform nonsense, I went whee all the way down. I went whee without a care in the world, because I could just go straight and do that without thinking. And then they put all these planters in to turn it into Brands Hatch chicanery. So you can't do that, and you can't drive at speed. Okay, I get that from a safety point of view, but it was a pain in the arse. So basically, if I'd have just let myself go, I'd have crashed into that planter there, because I wouldn't have been able to stop. Or the alternative was, if I just let myself sort of grind all the way down against the pavement, bit by bit by bit, until I get to the bottom and can just completely knacker my car as a result. So, gone to the next road. I hate that one then. Bloody what's it does that. So anyway, you get the idea. But so somehow out of the blue, as I was stuck there at the top, 4 men turned up just turned up out of nowhere, grabbed hold of each. It's like they just grabbed hold of my car, where each window was basically, and just literally helped me get down to the bottom. And then I got down to the bottom there, thanked them, and they all just disappeared as quickly as they had arrived. And then I just drove home, and then I was rather late for the guy who was now, now in my house, because Mum had let him in. And I just sort of explained what had happened then. So I'd had a hell of a day, then a hell of a drive home, and then even a hell of then a crash, and then a hell of a nightmare trying to get to home. So this is like paying it forward, because these 4 men have just sort of helped me out the blue, just when I needed it most. And so we go back to the situation tonight, and I was able to kind of pay it forward, because at that point, I stopped the video at this point, because I wanted to save petrol. There was no point leaving it on to record what you couldn't really see anyway. But I saw one guy was going across from the forecourt, which is just off camera to the right. So obviously that's where I've just been as well. And I got out of the car, I went to have a look, see what I could do to help. And then the guy who was coming up behind me, he got out to help as well. And basically between the 3 of us, at first the suggestion for myself and one of the other guys seemed to be that get her to reverse. If she's managed to reverse once and get that far, it may be easier just to reverse further, because she was trying to move forward and it wasn't going anywhere. So just reverse. If you reverse that far already, just reverse further, and you'll sort of end up facing backwards in the exit lane. But it's better than being where you are now. But as it turned out, her back right wheel was off the road in the air, and so she couldn't get any traction on the sort of on the ground, as it were, to be able to do that. Basically, at first, the suggestion between the 3 of us ended up being, I think me and one of the other guys suggested this, that she just tries reversing, because she'd reversed that much already, just to get from being on the forecourt to sort of being half on the forecourt and half stranded in the air because the back right wheel was no longer on the ground. But she just couldn't do that. It just wouldn't. She couldn't get enough purchase to get over it, and then end up in the exit lane and obviously facing the wrong way. So me and one of the guys tried lifting the car up. I've not really got the strength for that. Probably why it didn't work, so that she could then drive forward. And then when the third guy came over, between the three of us, we just sort of tried pushing the car, and she then tried, going forward again, and then she actually got over, and the car was back to where it was before. What a shame! A shame it wasn't during the daylight, and then I could have got some decent footage of that. That is a shame. But hopefully my description of helping save the day, not saving the day, but helping save the day, will paint that picture for you. But yeah, so 27 years ago, 4 guys turned up out of the blue to help me, and now I'm sort of paying it forward, which is rather nice, and also at winter time as well. And as the lady got back in her car, because she was obviously in the car in the first place, because that's how you drive. You've got to be in your car to drive. But she got out and thanked us, and then got back in the car. I just said to her, "I've never seen that before," and she said she hadn't either. So anyway, that was a bit of a fun time, and I'm glad I didn't just drive past. And there's an anecdote for you all. Anyways, hope you get the chance to, whatever, if someone does you a good turn, hope you get the chance to pay it forward as well. But that's enough wittering from me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, click on the bell for all the notifications, and cue Genesis.